Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Surprise guest. I told you it was coming in our daily financial news. We have the one and only Dion from Dion Talk Financial News. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, doing great. Thanks for reaching out. Every day is Saturday for you. For me, I look forward to Thursdays. So this is an early treat for me.
There you go. I appreciate that. Well, hey, one of the things I wanted to talk about in the first of our three discussions is the biggest risk that most, if not everyone, takes that no one talks about, right? You've had a couple of experiences with this. I grew up in this environment. It was always in the back of my mind as it drove me crazy for decades. So why don't we talk about it?
A lot of times when people talk about being wealthy, they talk about millionaires having 7 streams of income. And so a lot of people who haven't started investing yet think, well, one day when I'm rich, I'll diversify and have 7 streams of income. Not thinking that the problem is that you have 1 stream of income. If you're relying on your job to provide for your family, you are taking the biggest risk possible. And both of us have decided that that risk wasn't worth taking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know your story, but we'll hit it here again, right? You had what I would consider 2 relatively safe careers on purpose. You joined the military and you joined the police force. Both are what I would consider in normal times, relatively safe careers that you could do your 20, right? I'm going to be in it for 20 years and get the pension on the exit. Didn't turn out so well.
No, right after Desert Storm, the Marine Corps downsized. And in 2008, when the recession hit, municipalities make their money off of tax revenue. And when companies aren't making a lot of money, there's not a lot of taxes. So police departments shrink, like there's no more crime, so we don't need cops anymore. And,
yeah, of course it did. Yeah.
And I mean, there's actually other times where when I left the police department, I actually went and found a local driving job that doubled my income. Wow. It was one of my first jobs where I started making 6 figures. I was driving for a company named Oak Harbor Freight Lines, and our local drivers make about $120,000 a year.
It's amazing.
And they went on strike. So I was there for like 9 months, and I'm making, my take home was my monthly income when I was a police officer every week. And they thought that wasn't enough. And I have no control over what the union does. I had no control over what the police department does. I had no control over what the Marine Corps does. And so I looked around and I thought there has to be some kind of way to take control of your finances and get income that doesn't depend on selling your life 1 hour at a time and relying on somebody else to keep you employed. So people that are working right now, and that is their only source of income, that's way more risky than investing is to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, and just to cover my story, right? My story with this risky starts as a kid. So I was a child. I think the first time I recognized it, I was probably 8 or 9, but the big time, I think I was 12 or 13, where my father was unemployed for 9 months, right? It was another recession. And oh, by the way, not to tease another expert, but Anna Kella and I talked about a recession starting next year. So again, this is a great topic. And let's just say life wasn't great the first month that he was unemployed, and it got successively worse. And you know, we were doing everything we could. I remember driving around trying to find aluminum that we could recycle. It got so bad, right? And I must have been 12, because I got a job at 12 under the table just to do something, right? So yeah, selling your hours. And again, I hold that baggage still as a nearly 50-year-old man, that it's just always back there, right? Money is, you got to work, you got to get money. Now with multiple streams of income, it's much better. But folks, yeah, I know the economy's good. I know there's 11 million job openings. I know we have wage inflation, but please live below your means, stack some cash so you can buy some assets, maybe start a side hustle. Because too many of you are, again, consumers are so predictable. A lot of them are feeling good today. They got a raise. They can quit and get another job instantly. If we go into a recession next year, yeah, it's not going to be as easy.
One of the things that I find a little irritating is I'm in the forums a lot. So Bigger Pockets forums, the Facebook groups, Real Estate Rookie, the official Bigger Pockets group, and other finance groups like Choose FI. There's a big group there, Afford Anything. And not everybody focuses on real estate. So I understand that. So when they talk about cash flow, and I'll say something like, well, yeah, this year it's passing 6 figures in rental profit. And they'll say, oh, rental profit, that's not passive. But somebody will work overtime and come in early off the clock and take tasks that aren't in their job description to try to impress their boss, to hope for a 5 to 10% raise next year. But a couple hours a month to develop a side hustle that makes work optional is not passive. I don't understand the mentality where people focus so much on career instead of developing streams of income to where work is optional. So then you can do the job you like and not worry about the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, folks, what I would tell you the ability to make work optional is out there for everyone. Dion has shown us, we talked about it being $90,000 in debt. He didn't know about, 3 kids. You've got to make some sacrifices, right? Rent out your house, move into a multi. It's there for you. Anna Kelly went from a big house to a 4-plex. You got to sacrifice. You got to go backwards to go forward. And I am just really nervous, right? We on my daily financial news this morning, I talked about, this $1.2 trillion in excess saving starting to be depleted. And there's going to be a lot of you that spend big in Christmas when nothing's on sale. They're like, I have no money left. I mean, appreciate it, invest it, stop spending it.
It's hard to get people to understand the importance of putting money to work. We're so focused on, I need to work for money, that the mental shift of, once I have that money, what do I do with it? Yeah. Do I buy the boat? Do I buy the RV? I mean, if you can rent them out, sure. VRBO, your boat or your RV, absolutely. I have a friend who just paid, I think it was $30,000 for an RV, and he's going to put, it's like an Airbnb version with RVs. And then he has an RV to use. Yeah. That makes sense. But especially if people are going to tap equity to buy something that doesn't produce more money.
You either earn interest or pay interest. If you take my course, I call it yield, just to have a different name. Every asset I ever buy, I think about the yield, right? I'm putting in 10 grand. How much am I getting back? That's every comparison, whether it's an apartment, a house, a condo, it doesn't matter. Everything goes into that calculation because I want to know how hard my money's working, and I want to buy the thing that makes my money work the hardest. It's that simple.
And then for those people that think, well, I'm working really hard, I need to reward myself, I need to have the RV for travel, and I need to have the vacation. I deserve. There's another way to look at that too. Oh my God. You can work for that. Work to buy the asset that pays for that. Yes. If you need a truck that has a $700 a month payment, buy a duplex that cash flows more than $700 a month to cover insurance, maintenance, registration, all that, the cost that comes along with that $700 a month.
And then buy the truck.
And then buy the truck. The truck has a 5 or 6 or 7 year loan on it. And after that's paid off, you still have the asset that's producing at the end of that.
What I really wanted to talk about in this topic is right now we are in the golden years for the employee. In my 40 years as an adult, or 35 or whatever it is, the employee has never had so much power. You're part of a union, you can strike and get more money. You want to make more money, change jobs. One thing I knew as a hiring manager is, you can give 3, 4, 5% jumps, but if I hire someone from a competitor, they're going to probably make 20%. So you want to change jobs? This is the time. But if you do that, I want you to live on what you used to make. You go from making 80 to 92 grand, keep living on 80, take the extra 12 or the extra 8 after taxes, save it, learn how to invest it. Let's have some fun. So again, a lot of you don't realize your job is your biggest risk. And if we have a recession next year, like I fear, it won't be as easy.
Well, I forget the name of the company, but they just terminated 900 employees over
Better.com. Yes.
Over a Zoom call.
That CEO needs to be fired. Karma's coming to him.
So method of delivery might not have been the best option there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
But that can happen to any company, any day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I worked for Oak Harbor Freight Lines. The company was solvent, whatever, was doing well.
Yeah,
you got
solvent.
Okay, there you go. And things were going great. We were making a ton of money. I had a great benefits package. That company union still has a pension, but the employees decided to strike. So the result to me was the same as whether the company called and said, hey, we're firing everybody, or we're laying everyone off, but the employees decided to fire the company. And because of that, I was out of a job. And having that one source of income is it's a risk I'll never take again.
There you go. Folks, the risk is out there. You all have it. Ask yourself what you're doing. Again, you have wonderful power. It is in your hand as an employee today. It won't always be this way. So take it, use it, live below your means, take the extra, save it, learn how to invest, make your money work for you. Stop spending money on stuff. Oh, drives me crazy. Dion, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom, and Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live for 3 hours if enough questions come.
Wow, 3 hours. Oh my God, my throat hurts just thinking about that. You're amazing. Thanks, Dion.
Ciao.